Good morning, good evening. I am your host, Levy White. If you're no sub, welcome back. If you're a newcomer, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share it with whomever you think might be interested in the topic. Sorry for going missing for so long. I had a lot of stuff to get done. I had a lot of work to do, so I couldn't keep up with all the situations, all the shenanigans, all the Keyshiaaism that been going on. I couldn't make any videos to comment and report about their efferys. But today, my thoughts is going towards the criticisms of Keyshiaaas. Yeah, because I heard a lot of men claiming that other groups of men, mainly non-black American, do not have the rights to criticize Keyshiaaas, their mothers, or their so-called women and sisters. To those arguments, I will bring my counter arguments because I think it is right, it is righteous, and it's justified to criticize Keyshiaaas, Nenes, Twanishas, Bonquishas, and all the Shaniquas that you can think of. I have the answer to that. Follow along with me and let's get into this deep rabbit hole to find the answer. Let's start with the arguments that they have against the people who have genuine criticism for Keyshiaaas. The argument is these are not your women, so therefore you have no rights to criticize them. Second arguments, very important. You do not have to deal with these Keyshiaaas. You have your own women to deal with. Just leave them alone. Leave them to us. Leave us to deal with them. This is probably the most important argument because most of my counter argument will rely on that point alone. My rebuttal for the these are not your women is these are not your women neither. Black women were not brought to America to be black men's wives, baby mamas, or anything like that. They were brought to America for three things. First, breed slaves. Second, make sure that those slaves never rise up high enough to challenge the dominant society. And third, and most importantly, to be the white man's concubine, to be his bed wench, to be his side piece, to be his third wheel. The only reason why the black women have to deal with black men is because white society just threw all of them together and told them, figure out your ish. It wasn't a plan to put them together. What you refer to the so-called black community is nothing but a survival mechanism, a survival unit built upon the fact that those people have the same skin color, not because they have the same vision, not because they stand for the same thing, just because they have the same skin color. And since they had to survive, they just put all their differences aside and got along. That's why you've noticed whenever black women found the ability to move on or to separate from black men, they always jump on said opportunities, like after the civil rights. If you understand those historical facts, you will accept the facts that these are not your women. She's not yours, pimpin'. I'm sorry. She's not your sister. She's not your woman. She's just an opponent. And she plays her role very, very well. So, since she's not your woman, why should you care, or why do you care whether or not she's getting criticism from other men? Second argument, you have your own women to deal with. You should not care or don't have to worry about Keyshiaaas. Keyshiaaas is ours. Go get your own women. Your women who come from the same countries, the same ethnical background, the same cultures. And to that, I agree. Normally, I would have no counter argument for that until I've noticed a change, a shift from other women's behaviors, other so called not black American women. I've noticed that they start to behave just like them. I've noticed what you would refer to as the tangle of pathology going pretty much global. All women want to act like black American women. Why is that? Could it be that you all have successfully exported the Keyshiaaas virus? Could it be that you have successfully propagated the Keyshiaaas virus throughout the world? It's one thing to have your local problems, your local issues, your local mental diseases to deal with, and nobody should care. It's one thing to have those viruses running rampant in your own group. But what happens when you can no longer contain said diseases, or said disease, or said virus, or viruses? What happens now when it becomes your neighbor's problem, the other guy's problem, the guy beyond the border's problem? What happened then? Can you tell the guy who has to deal with the problem that you created not to say anything about it? Kind of like this certain, what, that happened in 2020 where they didn't want to blame the who because of the issue, but that issue became global. Do you understand what I mean? It starts with a C. You got it? Yes, it's the same thing. Once you were unable or failed to contain the issue locally, to deal with it, to erase it, once it becomes other people's problem, you can no longer shut them up. You can no longer tell them to not care. You can no longer tell them to look the other way. It doesn't make any sense because now it is their own problem. The women of my community are no longer different from the average Keyshiaaas, Shaniquas, Bonquishas, Twatnishas, Honishas, you name it. They all behave the same now. There is no longer a distinction between them. They have the same stupid tattoos. They have the same stupid behaviors, stupid arguments. They are the same. They are no longer different from the Keyshiaaas that you would encounter at Walmart with her bonnets and her sandals, her weaves, sandling it up, weaving it up. So on one hand, I have the American Keyshiaaas, and on the other hand, I have whatever I have in my community, but they are all the same. They are twins. There is no longer distinction amongst them. Should I keep my mouth shut? Matter of fact, sometimes when I'm talking or speaking about Keyshiaaas, when I'm criticizing Keyshiaaas, I'm still thinking about my quote-unquote own women because they behave the same. The tangle of pathology has affected them. They have contracted the Keyshiaaas mind virus. Thank you for listening, and don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with your friends, families, and I'll catch you up on the next one.